A new Justice Department court filing has revealed that Trump may have attempted to hide the classified documents that he had decided to take home with him from the White House. Something that he was not supposed to do, something that he is now being investigated for. And while I appreciate the careful rhetoric used by the DOJ in this court filing, I will say it is, in my opinion, pretty clear that he was trying to obstruct the DOJ's investigation into these classified documents. Now, the filing came in response to Trump's request for an independent review of the materials seized from his home. He, of course, is making the argument that some of those materials are privileged, and so he is not okay with the FBI going through them. But we'll see if the judge actually agrees with what Trump is asking for, which is essentially a third party to look through those documents and ensure that privileged material is not being reviewed by the FBI. Now, among the new disclosures in this 36-page filing were that the search yielded 3 classified documents in desks inside Trump's office, with more than 100 documents in 13 boxes or containers with classification markings in the residence, including some at the most restrictive levels. So that discovery happened after Trump's lawyers, by the way, had lied to the DOJ about Trump no longer having in his possession any classified material. So that's another part of this investigation that I'm curious about, right? So was it that Trump lied to his lawyers and the lawyers relayed inaccurate information to the DOJ, or are his lawyers just flat out lying about what Trump actually has in his possession? We'll find out. That's something that's also being looked into. And understand, representing Trump is such a liability that when it comes to this particular investigation, he's having difficulty finding lawyers who want to represent him. And I don't blame them. Now, that was twice the number of classified documents the former president's lawyers turned over voluntarily while swearing an oath that they had returned all the material demanded by the government. So the DOJ filing also made clear that the prosecutors are now focused on Trump potentially taking steps to obstruct justice, which wouldn't be surprising to me because in previous investigations, it was clear that he was attempting to obstruct justice. And he never was prosecuted for it. He never faced any charges for it. In this case, though, considering the severity of the issue, considering the sensitive nature of the documents he wrongly took home with him, who knows? He could be prosecuted. However, the DOJ has released a statement making it clear, well, I don't know if they released a statement, but someone close to the investigation within the DOJ has said that if Trump is ever charged for any of this, it is not going to happen prior to the midterms because they don't want to give any impression that this is politically motivated. They want to keep this professional. They want to stick to the facts. The DOJ is not releasing statements about this investigation on social media. Instead, they've decided to respond to Trump through these official court filings. And I think that is the right way to do it because when they do the court filings, they also provide some additional details and evidence as to why it is that they had to go about this investigation the way that they have. And as we've shared with you guys before, they've given Trump every opportunity to just comply. Like the raid didn't need to happen if he just gave back the classified documents he had in his possession. Now, investigators developed evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room at Mar-a-Lago after the Justice Department sent Trump's office a subpoena for any remaining documents with classified markings. So it appears that he was trying to hide the documents. That led prosecutors to conclude that efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation, the government filing said. Now, the filing also included some visual aids, one specific visual aid that's been getting a lot of attention, and it is this photo of the classified documents. So for those of you listening to the audio version of the show, if you haven't seen the image, I'll describe it a little bit. So the documents are marked as classified and top secret / SCI, and the red document that is marked secret SCI, those are the kinds of documents that you can only review in a secure government facility. So there are different levels of classification, and that is one of the highest forms of classification, which is why this is a serious matter. You're not supposed to just have these documents laying around your residence at a resort. So there's that. Now, the Justice Department effort, by the way, we should understand what the timeline is. And we should repeat the timeline over and over again to make it very clear that this isn't some unfair political hit job. Trump had every opportunity to just comply, give them the documents. We wouldn't have even known about all of this, but he wouldn't comply. So here's the timeline. The Justice Department effort began in May after the FBI examined 15 boxes of documents the National Archives had previously retrieved from Mar-a-Lago after months of asking Trump's representatives to return missing records. The Bureau found 184 classified documents in that initial batch. But those weren't all of the documents, as we have learned. So on May 11th, department lawyers obtained a subpoena to retrieve all materials marked as classified that were not turned over by the former president. On June 3rd, his team presented FBI agents with 38 additional documents with classified markings, including 17 labeled top secret. But that ain't it. There was more. Trump's lawyers present during that visit explicitly prohibited government personnel from opening or looking inside any of the boxes that remained in the storage room, giving no opportunity for the government to confirm that no documents with classification markings remained, the filing said. So at the time, by the way, you also have the issue of Trump's lawyer, Christina Bobb, lying and telling the DOJ, no, Trump, that's it, Trump he handed everything over, okay? Bobb's statement was attached to the department's filing on Tuesday. In it, the lawyer wrote that, quote, based upon the information that has been provided to me, there had been a diligent search and all documents responsive to the subpoena were being returned. But the FBI uncovered multiple sources of evidence indicating that the response to the May 11th grand jury subpoena was incomplete and that classified documents remained at the premises, notwithstanding the sworn certification made to the government on June 3rd, the Justice Department filing said. In particular, the government developed evidence that a search limited to the storage room would not have uncovered all the classified documents at the premises. And then at that point, the DOJ obtained at least one more subpoena because they just wanted Trump to hand over the documents. And this subpoena was for the security camera footage at Mar-a-Lago. And the search warrant from August 8th revealed that there had been multiple people working with civilian witnesses, okay? So people probably within Mar-a-Lago who knew something's up here. And what was found during the final raid, right? The filing noted that the FBI, in a matter of hours, recovered twice as many documents with classification markings as the diligent search that the former president's counsel and other representatives had weeks to perform. A fact that it said calls into serious question the representations made in the June 3rd certification and casts doubt on the extent of cooperation in this matter. He thinks he's above the law. He was hiding classified documents. He had multiple opportunities to just hand everything over and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. So for anyone who might look at this investigation and think it's unfair to Trump, I just want to ask you, if you break the law, how many chances do you get to right that wrong before you're prosecuted? I'm serious. Because I would venture to say that as soon as you break the law, it's over. You're gonna be prosecuted. So why do you want to live in a country that treats powerful people differently? Why do you want to live in a country that believes or supports the notion that the powerful don't have to live up to the same standards that ordinary people have to live up to? The powerful people don't have to abide by the law the way the rest of us have to. So if this was Obama or Biden, to me, I think the health and the safety and the democracy in this country is far more important than rooting for my party. I'm not a loyalist to the party, I'm a loyalist to the country and doing what it takes to make sure that we actually enforce the laws for everyone, including the powerful. And it just amazes me that there's just a long line of people who are raising their hand to say, Trump can break the law, he can do whatever he wants. We're gonna defend him no matter what. It's crazy because the system doesn't make those types of exceptions for you. They never have, they never will.